This is a recording of Grace Klaus at her sister Sarah Vaughn's 90th birthday party celebration.
Stood and taken all the knocks when they come along. You have never let one of us down yet. 90 years, where did they go? Turn around once, you're a young woman. Turn around twice, you're middle-aged. Turn around again, and you're an old woman. But you will never be old. You're the type of an ageless woman that never gets old because you don't let your mind get old. And therefore, that's why you have lived and loved and are loved by so many. You have so much love in your heart that you'll never get old. Of another person that has as many people to love you as you do. Look out over this room, Sarah. Look out over all these people and think they are all ours. They are all, some way or another, in your life, you have touched it and made it better. Maybe they didn't even know it. Maybe they'll never know. But you have touched their lives and made it better. We were us to love one another. And that's what it takes to make the world go round. Just think, remember kiddo? I never knew of two sisters that called each other kiddo like you and Willie. You all were so much close together that you were always together. And she loved you dearly, and she loved you, and her children loved you just as much as they loved her. We could think of many, many, many things. This is not going to be a long elegy. It's not going to be a sad elegy. It's going to be an elegy to a woman who is deserving of everything in this world that she gets. God has been your starlight. He has led you. He has taught you to teach your children and your children's children and even your children's children's children. To walk in the way of godliness and to treat our fellow men in the right way. You have so many things to be thankful for, Sarah. You have children that love you, friends that love you, and my goodness, what wonderful thing it is to see you looking like about a 50-year-old woman sitting there having the time of your life. And here I am all crippled up, an old woman. But let me tell you something, Sarah. Love is what's done its all. Money was scarce at times. There hasn't been a one of us that hasn't needed money, one from the other. Remember, if we didn't have enough during the Depression, we'd go around the family and find out who had the money to buy our suppers. But we made it because we loved each other. We take our family, our own family. Unfortunately, Waverly and Scott went to an early grave. They were good people. They were good boys. Both of them were made and are living and waiting for us in heaven. Willie, with their two children, well, they love you. As I said before, they love you dearly. And Addie, The salt of the earth takes care of you as if you were made of pure gold. She may give you a little sass once in a while, but she sure loves you. And then Carl. What better man could you ever find in the world than Carl? With his two fine boys and his grandchildren and Mary, they all are family. And we all love them. And they love us. And that's what it means. And then come your own children. You only had the two, Granville and Margaret. Granville, there couldn't be a better man ever lived than Granville. Unselfish, willing to give, always ready to walk and help the man in the road. He's always willing to give a drink of cold water to a thirsty man. He loves his children. He's raised 8. You helped 2 girls and 6 boys. And each one of those boys are successful, fine, outstanding men. I think I can remember the grandchildren of the boys. It's Carrie and Tommy. I don't know about Mark's baby. So, therefore, as long as the world is in orbit, and as long as there's anything exists, part of us will be there. We have raised some wonderful children. We have raised doctors, lawyers, merchants, chiefs. That is the American way. We are the epitome of the American family. And you are the head of it. When you have your 100th birthday, don't expect me to be able to say what I do now, because I can hardly talk now. So let's just take a trip down memory lane. Let's just let our imaginations run wild for a few minutes. And think of Ma and Paul and how much they look down upon this bunch, as they look down upon this group of their own, how proud they must be of every one of us. They're the finest men in the world in this family. They're the good men everywhere, but none any better than in our family. We have all kinds and all sizes, but they are all gentlemen. We look at the things that God gave us. We look at the things that God take away from us. We lost Ray, and we lost Amos. But they're here with us, and they would be glad and want us all to have a good time. So with the children, with the singing and the dancing and the loving, one loving the other, we all know that we do love one another. We may not see each other all the time, We hear from each other all the time, but do we always do what we should do? No, we are only human beings. God has been so good to us. He has been so wonderful to us. He has taken from us our dear ones, but he has given them a much better place to live than we have here. I had 3 brothers. I had to give up. My mother and my father, I had to give them to Jesus. And I had a husband I had to give to up. But they're all in the better hands than we are. And life is so short. It is only a stopping place for the place beyond. Sarah, you are the most wonderful person I know. If I had to raise a child and tell it how to live and show it the person to live by, I would show it you. You have 2 children, Granville, who would lay down his life any day for you, and Margaret, well, there's no words for Margaret. She's gonna give out some of these days. She's just going to wear herself completely out. But then she does it in love. Because the love that's in your heart is so big and so much that it involves every one of us. We have new babies that have just been born. Carly's new grandbaby. I'm looking for a great-grandbaby. I'm looking for a new great-grandbaby. We've had all kinds of news. And when we pass on, they come on. But we're not ready to pass on. We're going to live to see our 100th birthday. We're going to have a good time. And thanks to Margaret for all the work. She and Addie have worked and planned for this for a long time. And I know one thing sure, that you taught her to walk in the footsteps of the Lord. And you taught us all, if we only listen. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But Sarah, I want to make a tribute. I want to stand and make a tribute to the finest lady I have ever known outside of my own dear mother in this world. Wait just a minute. There's a few other little things that has to be said. My family adores Terry. She could have homes with any one of them. She has enough homes to keep a half a dozen people going. They all love her. And her great-great-aunt niece, her great is a Sarah, great-aunt. Sarah is to my great-granddaughter a niece. She just loves to talk about her and to see her. She doesn't get to see her much. I didn't say too much about some of my brothers. Carly and I grew up together. We were closer than any of them. And he raised such a wonderful family. And all of those boys, Robbie and Mickey and All of them should be so very, very proud of their grandmother because she worked hard. And June, we were so young when we got married that we are not sister-in-laws, we are sisters.